Wow. It's like I always get energized when I see her introduction. And so if you're out there, welcome to Kiwanis Connects with Doc Val and Aaron. And you can see two amazing people on screen with me. I'll introduce you to them in a moment. But you are watching us on WDBTV Las Vegas. And I also know that when our host Aaron comes in, you'll be watching it on his station. He'll give a call out from that. But I'm so glad you're here. It's going to be an hour full of fun. And I have two amazing women here, and I am such a fangirl. So if I start to slip up, can you guys put a shout out in the YouTube space or in Facebook so that you can ask them questions so I don't look like I'm just in Gaga land? But we're coast to coast in North America right now. We've got Lisa Kollins, and she is out in, she says, a suburb of a suburb of a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. So, hi, Lisa.
Hello. So nice to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Absolutely. And we have Natalie, who's also here, and she's from a little bit bigger of a suburb outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And, in the background, we've got our producer, John, who's in Las Vegas. And I'm out here in cold Monterey. Yeah, thanks, John. I'm out here in cold Monterey. And it doesn't really match your cold. But I got to let you know, we turn the heater on if it gets anything less than 60 degrees. So kind of happens. Happens.
60 degrees is when I like to have the windows open.
Yeah, no. So I had the pleasure of meeting both these women and seeing them on TV. And you guys know that my husband and I love to watch the happy stories. We love to watch how we can connect with the rest of the world in a different way other than politics. And so when I saw the Superhero Project, I knew that they had to be on our show. And so I don't want to step on your stuff because you have so much to offer and share with us. So can you tell us a little bit about, and who wants to start with, tell us a little bit about this whole Superhero Project, and we'll kind of roll from there.
Sure. I can start. That's all right. So I love sharing the Superhero Project story because it started as just a little something I was doing to put some joy and kindness out into the world. And it has just grown and grown and grown. And so now we are a fully fledged nonprofit, which is fantastic. And it's become my full-time job, which I never could have imagined. So we use art as a tool for healing and use that to empower youth impacted by many different things, by illnesses, disabilities, marginalization because of identities, because of socioeconomics. There are many reasons, unfortunately, why young people feel and are marginalized, and other complex mental health, developmental, or medical needs. And we approach everything that we do through our 4 core values of imagination, inclusion, representation, and joy. I was especially excited to see your smile mnemonic because I thought, we need to figure that out. Although superhero is a long word, but S would for sure be for smile as well. So what we do is
Well, before you go too far into it, we've got Natalie here as well. So I want to make sure that everybody gets an understanding. So Lisa, you started this. And so Natalie, I've looked at your CV. Wow. How did you get involved in the project?
Well, thank you to both of you for having me on, first of all. And I got involved through another wonderful organization called Youth Challenge that my son, and actually my son was able to participate in Youth Challenge because of the Kiwanis, local chapter of Kiwanis here. So there is a Kiwanis connection, with our family as well. But Youth Challenge at the time said Lisa was looking for someone, to support with advancing superhero in the community, and asked if I would be interested, or if Craig would be interested. And so that's how I met Lisa. And Lisa came in and did an incredible job of connecting with my son, who has, multiple disabilities and co-occurring diagnoses, and has a very, very different communication style, a unique and different communication style. And I was just so moved by watching Lisa connect with us. And she, we'll probably go into this, but there's a process that she uses to invite, the child to share some of their dreams, aspirations, and that is a kind of a magical process. So, I was very pleased to be a part of Superhero Project, and very pleased to meet Lisa. And it's been an incredible journey since we met in 2020.
Wow.
That's when we started our journey and our friendship together. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
We work with families from all over the country and in 25 countries so far total. And I'm so lucky that Natalie is here in the Cleveland area. Although she's far west side, I'm far east side, but we still get together. And so we have really become close friends as well as partners in the Superhero Project's work.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. Erin, I want you to meet these two amazing women that are with us, and I'm glad you made it on board.
Hello. Sorry I'm late to the party, y'all, but welcome to Virginia Beach weather. Ladies, how are you? Nice to meet you, sort of in person, I guess.
Nice to meet you as well.
Trying to get my camera still situated here, but thank you for joining us today. And I know Superhero Today has a whole different meaning, but I am a superhero fan of the Batman kind. So when I saw a superhero, you had me at hello at that point when I saw all of this.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that we were just getting ready to talk about is, what is the Superhero Project, in the sense of, we saw these great pictures, and tell us a little bit about that. So I think there's a little boy with all the artwork around him.
That's Craig. That is Natalie's fabulous son. That photo was actually taken from a newspaper article that they did here in Cleveland about our program. And then you see those two posters on the ground in front of him, and those are my hands over there to the left. And so what we do is we interview kids and teens to find out who they are beyond a diagnosis. Like, during our chat, we don't talk about anything medical. We don't talk necessarily about what it is that's brought us together. My role is to find out who the kids are inside, what they love to do, what their favorite things are, the qualities that make them a great friend, what goals and dreams they have for the future, what kind of adventures they like to go on, and if they could go anywhere in the whole world, where would they go, and all those kinds of fun things. And if we have parents involved, which usually a parent or siblings are involved in the interview, then we ask them those same kind of questions. What do you love most about your child or your sibling? What do you consider to be their greatest strengths? And parents tell us that just that in and of itself is really significant to them, because as a parent who has a child either with a critical illness or with a lifelong disability, they are always being asked to explain what the deficiencies are, what their kids need help with, what problems need to be addressed. And we're just flipping that on its head completely and saying, we are celebrating your child. What do you celebrate about them too? And so they love the chance to get to talk about their kids' greatest strengths and the ways they love spending time with them, all of that fun stuff. So once we know who they are, then we ask them what's important to them. What positive change do they want to see in the world? Something I'm sure every Kiwanis chapter has a question they've all asked themselves, right? What is it that we want to do to make a difference, to help people, to help the earth, to help animals, whatever it is. And that becomes the basis of their superhero mission. Then we take them from head to toe through a series of questions so they can conceptualize exactly what they want to look like. Every detail, every color, every style. We find out what tools and powers they're going to need to achieve their goals, to reach their superhero mission, and how they get from place to place. And then all of that information is sent to a member of our League of Extraordinary Artists. Those artists are volunteers. We worked with over 800 from 6 different continents, and we almost had someone from Antarctica, but we can't get a hold of him right now. But we're almost confident we're going to get that by the end of the year, which would be very exciting. Mm-hmm. And so they get all the information from the kids, and they get photos of them, of course, and of their pets if they're, requesting a pet sidekick. And they use those 2 things to design the superhero alter ego that the kids have described based on all of their ideas. So families get back a poster that really is a visual representation of their kids' strength, their courage, their creativity. Craig wanted to have his as Captain Rainbow, as you saw, a very, very colorful character. Natalie, what did you think when you saw it for the first time?
I was just blown away, and Craig was also just blown away and remarked as to how the artist was able to capture almost all of the detail, and it was vast. The detail that he provided to Lisa. I mean, I don't know, how much detail other kids provide, but at his age, he was about 8 years old at the time, and 7 or 8, and and he was still coming into. Now we can't get him to stop talking, but at that time, still struggling with speech, and was kind of all over the place with due to his diagnosis. And I think that's what struck Craig the most, is how the artist really captured all of it. We were just amazed at how could he have done that. We were thinking, oh, he might compromise, this detail or that detail, and he really couldn't get it all together on one poster, but he did, and it was amazing.
We always tell our artists that taking art direction from a 6-year-old is a very unique artistic challenge, and it's something that they really enjoy. I think it's hilarious when, as we're going through the outfit and I ask them about their shirt and their belt and their gloves and their, if they're wearing pants or leggings or a super suit, and about their shoes and all of that. And every choice is just a completely different color, or they're all the exact same color. I think those are equally challenging requests, and the artists just need to figure out a way to make it work. And they do, which is crazy. And definitely some lists are longer than others, but I will say we've done now over 1,900 young people from, I think I said from across the country, 49 states, all except North Dakota. If there's a North Dakota contingent watching the show.
There is. Kathy Teddy.
We'd love to get connected with a family in your area. Anyhow, so they, their request. Oh, so even though, sorry, I lost track of where I was going with that. I got so excited when you're like, oh, there is someone in North Dakota. So even though I've seen that many posters, that moment of getting the email back with the file and opening it up to look at the poster for the first time, I still get excited every single time, because it's just that magic of watching a kid's ideas being brought to life and knowing how excited they're going to be, that really is so meaningful.
I want to ask this question as we get ready to go to our first break. Lisa, you provided us a clip for a preview of a documentary on the superhero program, superhero project. Is that still happening, that project?
Yes, that's what we are. That's for our organization altogether. We're the Superhero Project.
Perfect. So I'd like to do a couple of things. I'd like to, going into break, let's play that video so that people can see that as well. And here's what I'd like to do. Val knows I love throwing out challenges for donations. during the episodes when we have nonprofits. So I'm going to tie in a whole lot of stuff when I'm going to offer the following donation opportunity. Many of you know that a golf tournament or two is being planned in March for the Kiwanis Rose Float Club and the Kiwanis Club of Marina. But part of that is a company called iLifestyles Global, and they make trips available for donation levels. 5-day, 4-night getaways to Cancun. By the way, no timeshare necessary. So for every $100 donation that gets donated during today's show, and I understand the donation, I see it down there at the bottom of the crawl, is currently available. So Lisa, any donations you get within the next hour for minimum of a $100 contribution, you need to send me their name, phone number, and email. I will personally make sure that they get a voucher. 5 days, 4-night complimentary stay in Cancun, courtesy of iLifestyles Global and the company that's putting on these golf tournaments. Okay, so can you track that for me?
Absolutely. That is so generous. Thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. So Kiwanis World and anybody watching, make it happen. You get something in return besides the gratification of knowing you're helping this program. You get a 5-day, 4-night stay in Cancun, up to 18 months to use it. With that, let's go to break. Starting off with the documentary preview, our spots and our great sponsors, and then we'll be back more with the ladies right after this.
Levi is 5. He has green hair. He has a mohawk. I always tell everyone that we have one girl this way and the other girl this way, and he's like the missing piece.
They're a perfect little trio.
We're not a normal family.
We're not a normal family.
You're not taking me!
And I think this whole process has kind of made him a little bit shy, because in the hospital you've got nurses coming in and out all the time, doctors coming in and out all the time, and he just gets tired of it.
He was 3 when he was diagnosed. He was this happy kid, and then to get the phone call that it is leukemia was, here we go.
That support is finally just this, to see him happy.
Superhero Project is exactly that. It's specific. It has nothing to do with the hospital. It's just about him.
Come on, let's go put it up.
Just watching them find the little things that really show who they are is magical.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchi's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous. I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. There you have it. I love that little promo there. And I'll tell you what, folks, let's say they'll get a custom pet. Oh, so why don't you share that, Lisa, what you just put into the chat group about an additional gift?
Yeah, I was just going to offer, if you want to pick a specific gift, either someone who makes the largest donation or if there's, something else, another way that you want to distinguish it, that our creative director, who is also one of our artists, her name is Taryn Causey. She's done over 80 posters for us now. And she does amazing custom pet portraits and loves to do that. So if you have a furry friend who you particularly love and would like to have immortalized in a beautiful portrait, then we can make that happen.
So why don't we just bundle it into the $100? How's that? Let's say for $100, you get a trip and you can get a portrait of your fuzzy, lovey person.
Okay.
Or pet. Because if you have a hairy spouse, would that qualify for a pet?
I'm afraid it doesn't.
No. Okay. All right. Well, that's
and
fair.
Miley's in the background going, "Mom, you need to hit the button." So if you hear her bark, she goes, "Picture of me." So it's just like, one of the things that you had talked about, and you showed, I'm just going gaga over Craig and his Captain Rainbow. And so how did he respond the first time he saw himself as a superhero?
I think the first time he was probably just caught up in the beauty of the poster. Mm-hmm. And I think the part that he enjoyed the most was how he was depicted flying. Since he has a physical mobility challenge, the flying part is probably the most, I guess, impactful. Mm-hmm. Because it's a release from, I wouldn't be remiss in saying that it feels like drudgery. It's helping him move around, the walker and the wheelchair, but it also slows him down much. Mm-hmm. And to have that experience of being the walker flying, mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm, if that's coming through, the impact of it, that I'm flying. That's for some of us, especially those that have traveled a lot, in being in an airplane or flying has kind of lost its magic. But for this child, that was particularly impactful. And over time, as we went back to the poster, and the poster is actually up on his bedroom door, we also turned it into greeting cards that we sent out to anyone, because it takes an army to bring up a special needs child, and we're always trying to find ways to express our gratitude as parents, because we couldn't do this alone. Lisa came into our lives when it was particularly difficult. The pandemic was difficult for everybody around the world, but I would say it was at least 10 times more difficult for special needs children. And Lisa brought beauty, light, and joy, and the artist, of course. They brought all three of those right into our home with that poster. And then over time, as the pandemic passed and we revisit the poster, in some ways, Craig has also advanced in his abilities, mobility, and things like that. But it's always a joyful experience and a magical experience to go back to the poster, because it represents a type of freedom that is, still a work in process for my son.
I think that, Lisa, you have brought so much joy to so many families. And just listening to Natalia talk about Craig's experience, as you think about this, what was the most impactful reaction that you have ever received?
Well, that is a tough question. That is I almost got choked up there, even just answering.
Well, I was getting choked up just listening to Natalia. So
yeah. Before I should mention, before I answer your question, that Captain Rainbow was designed by Anthony Scalmato, who is an artist, happens to be here in Cleveland. Yes, that's his work. And he is on the faculty at the Cleveland Institute of Art. So he's an amazing designer. He's done a couple posters for us. But in terms of reactions, I went back through and looked at some of the thank you letters recently because I was trying to find some for a mailing, and I have somewhere between 600 and 700 letters and notes from families saying thank you, and they often send pictures of their kids with the posters. So seeing those photos is incredibly meaningful. There was one family talked about how their kid, like he opened the poster, he saw it, his mouth dropped open, and he ran around in circles through the house. And they said, he's not, our child isn't verbal, but we could so feel that excitement in his eyes, like in his whole body, like his whole body was just filled with that kind of joy. And so those are really meaningful. They're also, we've gotten some pictures of kids sort of looking at their posters, which is really lovely as well. And this really is a joyful project, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that the other really moving stories and notes that I get back are from parents for whom the pieces have now become memorial posters. Because of this population that we serve, the longer we go, the more and more families experience the death of their superhero. And what they often tell us when they reach out to let us know is that their poster holds a pride of place, either in the child's room or in the living room or somewhere. Sometimes they mention using the image as part of the memorial service or as part of, sort of that bereavement process. And that it's so important to them, not just as a reminder of their kiddos because that's what they look like, but also because it's a reminder of that conversation that we had, of the chance, getting to hear their kids be so creative, having to hear them talk about what's important to them and, seeing the choices that they're making. And I will say almost every single interview, something a child says surprises their parents, which is always very fun to see. I'm not sure if you want to show. I think that we had, I had offered, we have a parent who sent in a message to us. Did you want to show that, or are we?
Just before that, because I unfortunately need to hand the baton over to Aaron, and I so desperately wanted to be fangirl on the show and watch, and my husband's watching in the living room and watching you. And so one of the things you mentioned in the very beginning, and I want to make sure that we've got this full out there for everybody who's watching us. We're in 84 plus territories and countries around the world. In North America is our largest part of our population. There are so many Kiwanis clubs that will benefit by being in touch with you. And if you're not Kiwanians yet, you will be, because we need to get you guys so connected in. And we have programs for adults with special needs and disabilities. It's called Action Club. And it's just like Key Club in the high school or Circle K in the college level. It's for people to be able to get together with other people that they feel comfortable with and do service. And
didn't we meet a guy at International that's from that area that started the very first, right?
We did. We did. So as I walk away, thank you. This will not be the last time that we talk. And I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Val, before you depart, ladies, do you have your bad dad jokes for later on?
I have one, yes.
Okay,
I did not mention that to Natalia.
She went serious on you.
That's okay. That's okay. Hang on to that. So since you were leaving, Val, I can't let you go without at least one.
Okay.
And then you can go back to the show later on. So here's this one's just for you. Did you hear about the guy who got hit in the head with a can of soda? No? He was lucky it was a soft drink. Goodbye, Val.
That's a good start. Goodbye. Aloha.
Aloha. Say hi to everybody. All right. So God help us all. She's left me to right the ship with the ladies. That's okay. Because I may ask some questions that you guys may have covered at the beginning because of my tardiness. I know we wanted to do a video, and it looks like Vegas is having trouble finding that particular video. So can we put up some of the pictures and other videos that we have in the meantime?
Absolutely. And can I just follow up on what Doc Val
Yes.
just said
By all
about Kiwanis clubs getting involved, because there are a couple of special ways that can happen. One way is that we offer a program where a group will bring us in to create superheroes for a whole cohort of youth. We've done it with inclusive baseball leagues and inclusive cheerleading squads. We've done it with community centers in underserved neighborhoods. We've done all that kind of stuff. And in addition to the families getting the benefit, and we haven't talked about that yet, what, the positive impacts it has on individual families. But in addition to that, the sponsoring agency will get a full exhibit that they can have to display of all the posters as a way to really celebrate and honor the kids in their community. So if that's something that a club would be interested in doing, that would be great. And another thing is that, as I mentioned, we've worked with over 1,900 kids now from all over, and there may be a child in your area, and they could certainly be, brought into a meeting or have a special event planned to honor them, and we can come on and talk about their interview and what they selected, and anyhow, that's another special way to honor some kids.
If I add to that, if I may just take a minute to add to what Lisa just said, I think Val was talking about your action clubs being inside the schools. One thing that Lisa has been doing is taking that show of all these posters to the schools, and she actually had it come to one of Craig's public schools. I think it was the intermediate school. And that is also extremely impactful, because it not only helped build Craig's self-esteem, but so many people. It helped educate, inform, and allow so many people in the school, the students, the teachers, the staff, to really appreciate the beauty in special needs children.
Absolutely.
So I think that might be, another way. It's a very powerful program that Lisa has put in place. And as she was talking about parents memorializing the posters, it's also another way to, to extend that memorial experience back in the same schools as well. So, and it really does a great job in helping neurotypical kids and adults understand what it means to be inclusive, truly inclusive. And it does it in a way that's not, threatening in any way. It's just a beautiful, loving way to help people reach deeper inside themselves to include people that are different from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it kind of normalizes who everybody is in the eyes of those that may be a little hesitant or have a fear of frailty. So I think it's a great program to be able to do that.
The special needs child, but it also empowers the teachers. It empowers, other children that are the peers of the special child.
Yeah, we have the touring exhibit that Natalie is talking about focuses on recognition and representation and is available to go. And it's been in 30 different locations in 3 states so far. So that's always something. But I do want to share, if it's all right, just a few weeks ago, we got a note that said, it's a thank you from a parent who says that they want to thank everyone at the Superhero Project and the artist, Chris Enka, for the fantastic poster and story about our Brady braids. Chris captured Brady's personality perfectly, and the story was spot on. Brady's teacher blew up the poster and story and displayed them outside of her classroom for the last few months. She said it was a big hit at school, and the kids and staff loved learning about Brady in such a fun way. So that was incredibly moving to me to read. to know that what we hoped would happen with these images is something that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
There was
No,
also
for
a
sure.
school, and there was a great, I also did my largest interview, which was with a classroom of around 30 fourth graders, maybe
Mhm.
sixth graders. That was a school in Thornbury, Ontario, a small school there who had heard about us through a radio show that we did on CBC, on the Canadian National Radio
Right.
series.
Right.
And they brought us in because there was a young woman in their class who had a rare diagnosis, and the entire class helped create the superhero for her since she was nonverbal. And it was so lovely hearing them. I asked, some of the similar questions. Well, what are her favorite things? What do you think are her greatest strengths? And then as we went through the superhero, the creation of the superhero, they said, well, we know she likes this, so maybe we should have this. And her parents were in the room as well. And they were so touched that these kids really knew their daughter as an individual. And I don't think there's anything more that any parent wants, really, is to know that their child is truly seen and appreciated for the contributions they're making to the world.
It's one thing that people can make connections on the surface, and we learn this in business all the time. Business relationships are one thing, but to really cement that relationship, businesses need to have emotional connections with their clientele to find out what makes them tick, who they are, check on compatibility and all of that. And I think what you're sharing, the best lesson as you're sharing these experiences with these children and the students, is the importance of the emotional connection between people. Period. Whether, we all bleed red, 10 fingers, 10 toes. We are who we are, whatever our definition of normal is, shouldn't make a difference between people. It's the emotional connection between people that really counts. And I think that's the best message in what you're sharing in that's going on with the schools and the teachers and the students of all levels, that there's that emotional connection.
So there are 4 main impacts that in their letters and surveys we've done, 4 positive impacts that parents and families report. One of those is what you just said, is connection. And that happens in a few ways. One is because although they don't meet, the artist and the kiddo get sort of a pen pal kind of relationship, which is very sweet. But the other way is that we find, and Natalie, I know from our conversations that this has happened with you at times as well, is that friends or even extended family, if they don't understand exactly what is happening, and they're so concerned about saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing, that they really pull away. And families end up, either if a child has a critical illness, or if they develop a disability after an accident, or if they're born with a disability, that the families really end up feeling very isolated. And what parents have said is that seeing that poster and then sharing that poster is a way for them to say, look, this is how we see our child, as strong and beautiful and really making a difference. And this is how we want you to see our child as well. And that is such a valuable tool to give them. And
absolutely.
I can say quickly, so the other 3, for some families, I think this is just a fun experience. For kiddos who are going through inpatient treatment, of course, it's a great distraction, a way to get their mind off of things. But as the psychologists say, this is a strengths-based, developmentally appropriate, positive, social, emotional intervention, which in other words, it helps young people to develop their social and emotional self and really their sense of identity. And so the biggest thing that people report is that that participation really increases self-confidence, both seeing themselves as this superhero that they can put on the wall. And I love when we get the posters back where they have their child's poster right next to a Batman poster and a Spider-Man poster. So they've put themselves into that pantheon, but also the confidence that comes from knowing that an artist has taken their ideas so seriously and has created something has designed something exactly based on their ideas. The second thing, or now we're on the third, because we've got the promotes community and connection. It increases self-confidence. It fosters resilience because because now caregivers have another tool in their arsenal. So, if the child is facing a challenge, whether that's a medical procedure or a big test or starting at a new school, whatever it is, that they can say, okay, you've got this coming up. Which of your superpowers are you going to call on to help you get through this? What would your superhero do in this moment? And who are the sidekicks that you are going to rely on to help you get through this tough period?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, it just inspires joy, just knowing that there are people out there who are thinking of them and wishing them well. For some families, we're connecting, unfortunately, during some of the most difficult days of their lives, and to just know that there are people out there willing to give their time and their talent. I cannot say enough about these artists, which come from all different fields.
Sure.
Knowing that just really inspires hope.
And it's a great thing for the parents to see the joy on their children's faces go through this process and then see them light up when they see the final product. All right,
sure.
We're going to step aside for a final break. When we come back, I want to ask our guests about another project, which I think they're kind of doing this jointly, because our superhero parent here, Miss Natalie, she also is involved with her own nonprofit. Did you guys talk about Rising Heights at all? Did we miss that when I came in?
We haven't, but I would love for Natalie to share a little bit about that.
We'll talk a few minutes about that when we come back. Also, we have Melissa Atwell's mental health moment. And of course, what would be an episode without bad dad jokes and our guests leading the way? You're watching Kiwanis Connects, the Superhero Project Edition. Hopefully you've made your donation of $100. We'll find out. We'll be right back.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchy's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Aaron Phillips here. If you are late to the show, you missed Val. Doc Val was here for the first half. She had to jettison herself a little early because of another commitment on a call for the CNH Children's Fund Committee. So she's taking care of business on that front, but that's okay because the show's not about me or Val. It's all about the superhero project, Lisa Kollins, and one of the, what I called on the promo, Superhero Project super volunteer, Miss Natalie joins us now. Natalie, you're part of an organization. You're the board president for Rising Heights. Can you talk about that for a little bit and what that is?
Sure. Rising Heights is also a local nonprofit. It's a small startup profit, and it was founded by 4 special needs moms who are working towards creating housing that is integrated. Most of the housing options that traditionally are available for special needs individuals with developmental disabilities are group homes. And group homes can be appropriate for some, but for a lot now, through the IEP process, they're being mainstreamed more and more, and the housing the group housing is very isolating. And so we are working towards building housing that is integrated rather than just, a group home plopped inside a regular neighborhood. And then there's also four pillars to Rising Heights. The other one that we've been actively working on is called Rising Heights Care. And that is a program there's a caregiver crisis throughout the world now, and it was highlighted in the pandemic. It affects people with disabilities, seniors, and individuals with developmental disabilities significantly, and their family members. And so we have established a training program. We're partnering with a local nonprofit that serves refugees. And we train refugees to become caregivers. And our training is much more extensive and robust. When you stack up just the governmental training options that are available, or the traditional training that's available at a community college or something like that for home health aides. We've developed a curriculum that's much stronger. It's been developed with the help of special needs parents. And we've had a fantastic, retention rate in our curriculum, and we're continuing to build it. This was the first year that we offered it, and our next cohort is going to start in spring of 2026. So that's basically in a nutshell, what Rising Heights is. And my involvement came out of the fact that we are a family through adoption. We adopted Craig later in our lives. And as we age, we know that, he's going to need our family members, our empty nesters. They've got their own issues to deal with. He's going to need the community. It's taken the community, the Army, to get him where he is at, and has allowed him to really explore and engage all his gifts in the community. And we want to keep him on that trajectory. And so integrated housing is a very, very important part of it. Appropriate, informed, educated care is a very, very important part of it. And so that's
Absolutely.
how Rising Heights.
Absolutely.
Rising Heights happened after the superhero project. And coming back to the superhero project, I wanted to just also add to what Lisa was saying, that, in very simple terms, yes, you have the connection and, all that technical, medical, impact that it has. But very fundamentally, it builds your child's self-respect and respect for the child in the community. And I think that is an incredible impact. And the second point I wanted to bring up that hasn't come up yet is that Lisa doesn't stop her relationship with the child after the project is, the poster is made. She offers online, not workshops, but art experiences to our children from time to time, where one or two of these artists will come online, and they'll spend an hour and a half with our kids, whoever is available, from their home, and they can continue to create other art with the help of these artists and an application that they've used, where the child can engage in the art, and if they get only this far, then the artist supports them to create something more beautiful. So the creative process continues in that sense, and it's really a community that Craig has an opportunity to engage with, a beautiful, artistic, loving community.
That's good. The continued support is always a nice reinforcement for everybody involved in the project. It's not just a one and done. It's just there as a safety net. John, we have some pictures that we still have. Let's show those, John. And if you would, please describe what we're seeing here, if you would, Lisa.
Of course, this is Amazing Advocate Alley. I don't know if you can see down in the bottom corner there, that's the U.S. Capitol building, because she wants to make the world accessible and to be an advocate for that. And that big hammer that she's holding is going to, she just brings it down and stairs turned into ramps and curbs get dips and all of the things that you need to make things accessible. She uses a wheelchair on and off. And that is her little brother. This is one of our favorites, Blue Warrior, Masked Knight Rider. And this is Elijah, and he is fantastic. His poster was done, I think maybe in 2017. And her mom is now on our board, which is great. And that is an exhibit that University Hospitals here in Cleveland that they commissioned that has all current and former patients of Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, which is their children's hospital. This is Equicam, who wanted to make sure that the LGBTQ community is afforded all of the same civil rights and human rights as everybody else. And actually, Equicam's poster is now part of our new touring exhibit, which features superheroes created by young LGBTQ plus kids from all over the country. And Super Destiny, she's a sweetheart. As I mentioned, there are 1,900 posters. I don't recall her exact mission, but that's her poster with that big giant heart telescope, which is very cool. And and this is Amazing Maria. So Amazing Maria, she is from here in the States, but her artist was actually one of our first international artists, and her artist is from either Panama. I'm pretty sure she's from Panama, or somewhere in Central America, I know for sure. As I mentioned, we've had artists come to us from 6 continents and really from dozens of countries. And that is always super exciting. And sometimes we get a 3-continent collaboration where we have the kid on one continent and me here, and then the artist on a different continent somewhere else. This is Super Drayden, he is nonverbal, and his family just said how much he makes people happy, how much he loves to make people smile. And so he has a little gadget that shoots out those happy face stickers for everybody as a little reminder to stay happy.
Well, I loved his sheets, though. See, the sheets had me sold.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course, for that. And this is Cyclic Soulflower. This is a young woman who's a student at an autism. She's graduated by now, but she was a student at an autism center here in Cleveland that we partner with. And I don't know if you can see, but she's on roller skates there. So that was the way that she gets from place to place. We have all kinds of different modes of transportation, from hot air balloons and surfboards and skateboards. And, you know, Natalie mentioned how Craig's forearm crutches, or his walker, I think,
Right.
have rockets at the bottom. And that's something that's really important too. You know, we ask, I see that you use a wheelchair. Are you going to have your wheelchair? Does your superhero use a wheelchair to get around as well?
Mhm.
And I would say 90% of the time they want that to be, because to them,
Sure.
the wheelchair gives them freedom. And so then we don't give them their wheelchair, of course. We sort of, we upgrade their wheelchair, giving it rocket power so that it can fly. We have made wheelchairs look like submarines. We've made them look like princess carriages. We've made them look like a game from The Price is Right. There was one kiddo who has a giant Plinko board on the back of his chair. You know, really whatever the kids are interested in, whatever they want their chairs to look like, or their crutches.
And it's good that they do that, because that is part of their everyday being anyway. It's like a hand or an arm, you know, to them, their chair is their legs. So, I mean, the fact that they don't want to exclude that, that's part of their imagination and their vision, I think says a lot. All right, we are watching down the time. So real quickly, John, let us go to Melissa Atwell's message before we wrap up with the ladies. Here is the mental health moment.
Hi, I'm Melissa Atwell, here with your mental health moment. You don't need a whole day off to reset. When it comes to taking time and a moment for yourself, 1 minute of intentional, calm, Space can regulate your nervous system. Try doing that reset today and see how it works for you. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
Thank you, Melissa, as always. Normally at this time, we're with Val in a wow moment and Val on the road, but of course, we don't have that today. So before we officially wrap up with the ladies, we're going to now transition to the highlight of the show, and that is the bad dad joke from our guest. So, Lisa, kick us off with your bad dad joke before we get to the really bad ones, which are the ones that I have.
Of course, my joke, I don't think it's bad, but here it is what do you call Iron Man when he doesn't have any clothes on?
One would say naked man, but I don't think that's the right answer.
You're pretty close. It's stark naked.
Stark naked. Tony Stark. Oh, very good. I like that one. Natalia, I know. I guess the assignment didn't get to you.
I have one for you, and I like that you follow this up with a mental health moment, because humor is definitely, it takes a second and then brings. But if it's a bad joke, I don't know. But here's my bad joke, and I used the internet to help me with it. I'm a vegetarian, but I connected with this one because it's a kind of a riddle. What is a vegan's favorite Christmas song?
What is a vegan's favorite Christmas song? I give up.
Lisa?
I am stumped too.
Soy to the world.
Oh! All right, John, let's hit the intro to make it official. Let's do it. So I've actually got one of my jokes today will follow right along that line, Natalia. So this one's to follow that one up. It's more not really a joke, but it's kind of like a question. If two vegetarians get into an argument, is it still called beef? Okay, that's what I want to know. All right. Did you hear about the guy who invented lifesavers? You guys enjoy lifesavers?
I do.
Well, rumor has it that he made a mint. Oh, these guys are laughing at them all. These ladies are welcome back anytime. Let's see. By the way, I'm guessing Andy is still watching from the living room couch, even though Val's not on. So I hope so. All right. Hey, what's the difference between a man's wallet before and after kids? What's the difference between a man's wallet before and after kids? Well, what is it?
About $40,000.
That's not bad. I actually like that better than the real answer that they have here. Here's the difference. There are pictures where the money used to be. Question is it pictures of money that used to be there? I don't know. All right, here's more of a say. This is for John back there in Vegas. I wish my balding had started in Las Vegas, because what happens in Vegas usually stays in Vegas. Anyway, what happened when the blue ship and
Is that where you left your hair?
Yeah, and I'm coming back to visit it in January. So anyway, what happened when the blue ship and the red ship collided at sea? Did you hear about this? Was in the news. What happened when the blue ship and the red ship collided at sea? The crews were marooned.
I was stuck on purple. I was trying to figure out the purple connection there, but maroon.
There you go. You got it. They were all marooned. That's right. Mm-hmm. Did you know? Listen, air used to, when I was growing up, air used to be free at the gas station, but now it costs what, like $2.50 worth of quarters to get a couple of minutes? You want to know why? Went up because of inflation. I went there. Yes, I did. What do you call a pencil with two erasers? Pointless. Anyway.
What was it?
Pencil with two erasers is pointless.
Oh, pointless.
Yes. All right, I got two more and then I'm out of here. What type of tree fits in your hand?
Tree.
See, if you don't live in Florida or California or even Vegas, you may not get it, but it's a palm
tree. A palm
tree.
tree.
Yes, a palm tree, Lisa. Yes, very good. And last but not least, before we wrap up and say goodbye, what did the drummer call his two daughters? This is for Patrick Frazee if he's watching. What did the drummer call his two daughters? And a 1 and a 2. And a 3 and a 1. All right, that does it for this week's Bad Dad Jokes. Oh, I made it off the file cabinet. That's it. Feel free to use them at dinner time, everybody. So, Andy, I hope you like them. All right, let's wrap up. So, Lisa, give us 30 seconds of your best final pitch about the Superhero Project and what folks can do to support.
There are so many ways to support the Superhero Project. As a small nonprofit, I know that our staff, our board of directors, our artists, and especially our families would be grateful. We love when people also share our story, whether that is following us on social media and inviting others to do that, whether that's inviting us to speak to your group, to another civic group, to beam into a school or a faith community to talk about our work. Hosting an exhibit is also a great way to do that, or sponsoring a group of youth in your area. It could be from your local children's hospital or a local school, something like that. And of course, just making a contribution, a donation to us would be great. And between now and the end of the year, a very generous donor is matching every gift up to $50,000. So we'd love to get close to that. And really, thank you again for this opportunity to share our story with your folks who, your community who make such a huge difference all around the world every day.
Right on. Well, we thank you for that. Ladies, Natalie, thank you for joining us. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Happy holidays to you and your family. Folks, just as a reminder, if you missed anything about today's show, number one, why? Number two, though, don't feel bad about it. You can go back on Facebook if you want. We got those 3 channels. Of course, the Kiwanis Connects show, WVBV TV Las Vegas, or WWDB TV. I'm sorry, John didn't catch me. WVBV TV Virginia Beach, WWDB TV Las Vegas. Same 3 channels on YouTube. And on Sunday, 8 a.m., DBTV.TV. 8 a.m. Kiwanis Connect show re-airs there as well. Share it with your friends and family. And of course, if anybody still does make that $100 donation, we'll still get the trip and still get the picture of the furry family member if you'd like. All right, everybody, with that, thank you for tuning in. As always, be safe, be happy out there, be kind to everybody. Why? Because we are all we have. I now call this show adjourned. Thank you for watching. All right.